check. Hey. Someone is make some noise right over here. Come on. Yeah, keep the music. Let's hear the music. Why don't you put your hands together like this? Good. Good to be alive right about now. He doesn't even need any music. Give a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause for being in your seats right now. Woo! We've got so much planning for you. We're back there getting everything ready for you, okay? Now let's just make some noise so we get our attention. At the count of 3, make as much noise as you can so we can let Palm Springs know the zone is in town. 1, 2, 3. Awesome, and keep that energy going as we bring out Miss Shanda Sumter. Good.
Hey, superstars, how are you? Okay, so Sasha and I are gonna have a little fun here. Okay. Come on, Sasha, do not throw the bottle. We can't throw the bottle because I don't want to get in trouble for like somebody getting upset that you clonked them out. You get to pick somebody. Okay, so let me show you first, okay? So, okay, hold on. Okay, so there's meaning behind all of this, people. So there's give, to remind you to give. Generosity, not just give to get to the people who you think you're going to get something from, but actually give to give. You will make more sales than you could ever imagine when you just continuously be the type of person who helps people, okay? It just will happen. And we've got our amazing hardcore business glass bottle. I love it. And then here, I'm going to give you the give to give shirt. And I love these. These are so great. They're these hoodies. They feel very soft, right? And they say hardcore for life. And I have no idea what this is. So we're going to find out together. What is this? What is this? Is it a towel? I don't know what this one is. It's a towel? A cooling towel. Like as if it's not cold enough in this room. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Sasha, you're gonna go that way, I'm gonna go this way, and we're gonna hand them out. Okay. Who's excited? Come on. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna throw cash out, we're gonna throw swag out, we just wanna have some fun, right? It's not always gonna be in the front, sometimes it's gonna be in the back, sometimes it's gonna be on the side. The purpose is we want some engagement. You learn when you are engaged. You're checked out and nothing gets inside, okay? Awesome, so Sasha, I actually asked Sasha to join me just for a couple minutes on the stage before we just kind of revisit what we've learned to make sure that it's stapled inside your hearts and inside your head so that we can get this freight train moving, okay? So Sasha, tell them a little bit about your journey even coming to Heartcore, where you started, where you are now, and then I'll just ask you a couple questions.
Okay, perfect. Is this working?
Yeah, you're on.
So I'm Sasha Sterling, and I've been with Shanda. Oh.
They're going to tell you.
Okay. I've been with Shanda for almost 3 years now, and I actually found out about her by listening to someone else's summit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So that means somebody else was interviewing me?
Yeah.
Somebody else was interviewing me, and that's how she found me.
And my husband and I were in severe breakdown at the time. And so I came to Shanda with 5 brick and mortars, 3 of them functional, 2 of them completely non-functional and not opened at the time. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I was in marital breakdown, and I needed to figure something out. And I had had this hobby coaching business for about 5 years on the side, but I really wasn't doing much with it. I was supplementing my income about $2,000 a month. And I don't know why I'm nervous.
That's
I'm just
okay.
gonna say it.
This is
because-
actually a really warm. I was actually not thinking you were nervous. I was actually feeling the room and feeling them being warm.
Oh, no, you're warm. I'm nervous. But you know why it is because I've actually buzzed through so many of my self-worth and confidence issues by working with Shanda. It's that she's changed my life so much. And I was talking to Shane, my husband, who you might see around here with our kids at the pool. If only she could have put the Zone event off 3 more months, I'd be ready to get on stage again. Because I made a declaration at last year's Zone event that I was going to hit 7 figures by February, and I still haven't. But I am close, and I'm going to go for it until New Year's Eve this year.
Play to win.
So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're playing to win.
Yes.
You are playing to win. And how many people have told you you're crazy?
everybody, except Jamie, my best friend, who's known me every step of the way, who's here finally this year. But really, you know, to just sum it up, I got started without knowing what I was going to sell, without having a list, without my husband's support, without any of my family members' support. We had topped out all credit. Actually, there's someone here who came up to me at another hardcore event, knowing about some of the horrible breakdowns in my life with vendors and money that's owed, and we're almost out of debt. Yay! $300,000 later because of what I've applied from Shanda's program. So I just built a list without knowing what I was going to sell, and I did nothing with that first list for 6 months. And then finally, when I had to make money from it, I did 6 figures in just 6 weeks from a cold list. And so that was when, that's when my husband was like, okay, there's something really here. And so, you know, I've done 16 summits in 2.5 years. And I've figured out who I am and what I stand for and what I want, and I've enrolled everyone in my life. No one in my life tells me to stop anymore. They're just excited to see what happens next. I retired my husband. It's just the beginning, and it's because of you. So.
Thank you. But you played to win. You did play to win. So just so you know, most of our clients would never do 16 interview series in 2 years or 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. So that is a hustle that creates millions fast. So the question just becomes, how fast do you want to create it? It's not, where's the plan, because I'm giving you the plan. It's not, that is not the problem. The problem is not the plan. I'm going to go over it again after I talk, because some people just checked out on the first one. You're going to get it. I'm committed to you getting it, because this is what's possible. She also, is it Young Living or? Mm-hmm. So yep. Share that story really quick.
So again, my friend Jamie recently introduced me to Young Living, and I just thought, okay, great, essential oils. I love essential oils, and just started sharing it with my list. I've shared it 4 times total now, and I've reached a rank that less than 1% of the company ever gets to, just from 4 emails and sharing with current clients. And so that's also another thing, that it's only up from there, and we have some pretty exciting
goals. So for those of you guys that I need to decode what she just said, it's the oil company is a multi-level marketing company, network marketing, right? And so she's saying, you know, that's not her business is not that. She's just saying she started using it, she liked it, and she just decided to check it out with her list. And she sent out 4 emails with her list and made it to the top 1% of ranking in that network marketing company. So I will tell you, I have network marketers who will come through like my Pace Club per se, and we teach them how to build a list in Pace Club, and then we teach them how to sell to it the rest of the year, right? Because that's the part that most people need after you get through the 90 days. And so I'll have network marketers come through and say, but you're a coach, how do I apply this? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just this is what I've been talking about all morning. Get out of your own way. You know, just send out an email or do a webinar and stop being afraid to ask them to join. Like, just stop being afraid. And so she's not afraid. And so that's why she's getting the results that she's gotten. And, you know, you made a declaration and a commitment, like what Judith was talking about at the lunch. And it's like you decided you were going to be in the top 1%. And you've gone after it.
I'll get there. Just give me a couple more months.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to share?
Well, my first Zone event, I felt really intimidated because there was so much going wrong in my life. And I've been blown away at how sincere and kind everyone is and how forgiving even people on my list I have a few clients here. They've seen me change my messaging many times as I've tested out which one will work.
Which is the power of having an email list, so you don't have to have it perfect, you grow with it.
Right. And to not be afraid to just reveal your embarrassing stories or shameful stories. And that's something that I definitely am still unleashing myself into, which Shanda gives me many opportunities to do. So, but it's good for business. It is good for business, and it's really good for my sense of self-worth and just belonging here on the planet and in a room with all of you amazing people. And to just let go of, who you were yesterday doesn't have to be who you are today. It's a fresh start right now in this event.
Yeah, and there's like one more thing that I just wanted to share about you. Like, you started this company, her coaching company. She started it in January. She's been with me for 3 years, but we have been cleaning up debt. Do you get it? Like, we have been, that's what her work has been about. There's the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm going to get to that next piece. And then there's the light at the end of this tunnel, and I'm going to get to that piece. And along the way, the power gets shut off, the car gets repossessed.
IRS came to my house on Christmas Eve, been served papers,
like,
over and over.
She has gone through a lot. But what's amazing is when everybody was saying, don't work so hard, chill out. And she, like, first of all, nobody in our community is going to come have that conversation with her because they would be embarrassed to, because she would enroll them in their vision. Do you get what I'm saying? So she tuned all of the people out and just said, all right, Mom, I love you. All right, we're doing this. And she went after it. So again, after you build the email list, and after you learn how to sell to it, you don't have to know what you're selling. Somebody got so mad at me the other day. They said, Russell Brunson did this. And I'm like, okay, so I just went on vacation with Russell in Las Vegas. And he will tell you, and he told me, he almost went BK 3 times. If it wasn't for his email list, he would be flat broke. This is the funnel guy. Do you get it? Like, it saves your life when you actually communicate with it, you talk to it, and you keep building it. And it is the community of an email list. Now, everything else stacks on top of it. But if you don't want to do anything else, you don't have to. You don't have to. It can stop there if you want it to. It probably won't, because you'll get stronger, and you'll get more powerful, and you'll have bigger visions, and you're going to keep going. But you don't have to, right? You just don't. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know if, is Summer McStravick here?
No.
Okay, she said something when I first joined Pace Club that said, you don't need to know what you're going to sell because you already have everything you need. Because to the 3rd grader, 4th grader is king. And because the coaching industry is unregulated, you already are a 4th grader to 3rd graders all over the planet. Like Amy said, there's 7.5 billion people. So just, instead of looking forward at the gap, as us driven people sometimes do, turn around and look at all the people that you can help based on your own life experience, combined with Shanda's list building and surveying. And something that someone said that really just brings comfort, that building an email list and learning how to sell to it has really been in my life, is that when the tide comes in, all of your boats are going to raise. So that's what's possible.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, honey. I love it. It's cool, right? Could you fast forward my slides till after lunch, or Sasha? That'd be awesome. Okay, so I swear to you, we have over 100 of those stories sitting in this room right now. Does that mean that you will succeed? I'm just being honest with you, right? Everything is the piece between the ears. Who are you listening to? Who are you not listening to? It's really important that you get your business coaching from a business coach, not from a singer, a leadership development. Like, you need to come to a business coach for your business advice, right? I don't go to, I don't go to a love coach for weight loss tips, even if they're skinny. Do you get it? And that's what's happening everywhere. People are going to the wrong people for their advice, And what happens is you end up way over here versus where you need to be. You know where you need to be. Are you ready to work? Yes. Okay. Good, because that's what it takes. Awesome. Okay, so I just want to run through this really quickly. This thing is kind of, I love the imperfections of life. There, let me just move this up so I can look at it. Perfect. Okay, great. So could you put my screen up, guys? Please? So I want you to build your business backwards by building the email list first. What do I want you to build first? I know I will drive you crazy, but by the time you leave, you're like, what should I do today? You're going to be like, oh, build the email list first, because you'll forget. I'm telling you, something will happen and you forget, okay? So I want you to build the email list first. I want you to spend time building it backwards, which what that means is that when people are telling you that you need to go figure out your messaging, somebody cornered me outside, and not cornered me, but grabbed me outside and please come up to me. I really don't bite, and I love to help. Somebody's going to be like, what a bitch, she said. No. But somebody grabbed me outside and said, I just really have to figure out my branding. And I did not brand until I was about $800,000 in revenue, and we're about to rebrand right now. We're about to rebrand for the next evolution of where we're going. Branding's incredible. It's incredible when you already have business. I mean, I don't know, is Christine Campbell here? Christine, stand up for a second. Great friend of mine, Christine Campbell. She spent, I don't know, how much money did you spend? So she spent, that's cheap. When you worked with Kelly? It's like $5,000? Wow, that's cheap. So I would have told you that's not branding. So $4,000, $5,000 is what she spent, but that wasn't even the biggest problem of it. The biggest problem was that you wasted another year of your life. She was actually the person, she's a good friend of mine from Vancouver, Canada. We grew up in Vancouver, Canada. And Christine is the one, I remember being in Vancouver on my parents' boat, and she called me up and she said, I have to hire you. And I said, I don't work with my friends. I'll just help you. I just don't, I didn't feel like I wanted to work with my friends, and because the way you have to be as a coach, my role is not to be your friend as a coach. In fact, if you don't like me at some point, it actually means that you're not playing big enough. I don't want you to not like me all the time, but at some point in our relationship together, you should not like me. And we're going to bust through that piece. But thank you, Christine. But Christine called me up and said, really, truly, I need to hire you. And she's the one that broke the whole boat open with all my friends now hiring me. And now we have a good portion of my clients are my friends in the community, which is really cool. Which then has made people in my community my friends, because now my friends are friends with everybody in the community. It's like, oh, we're all one big happy family. So, but it's cool. But I share that with you because I get up here and I share the email list, the email list, the email list, and then somebody's like, I got to figure out my messaging. No. You got to build the email list, the email list, the email list, and figure out your messaging with the email list, because you can make money with the email list while you figure out your messaging, versus sitting back trying to figure out, what am I going to sell? I can't do this yet because I have to figure out what I'm going to sell. Let me ask you a question. Do you know what you like in life? Right? So when I started my business, I liked business and spirituality. And I was very confused. What do? You just make a decision. And if you're going to be in a conversation that you can't make a decision because you don't want to leave that piece of your life out, you still need personal development. Because am I not open about my belief in God? I wasn't at the very beginning. I didn't really talk because I had to evolve. I had to get comfortable in my own skin, running my company, and being okay with saying the word God. I had to be okay with that, right? So it was an evolution. All parts of me are now in my company now. I didn't go into debt. I grew it all off the email list. So I want you to think backwards. Whenever you hear a great strategy, you should create a journal, and you should call it the Great Strategy Journal. And you should write whatever details you see that somebody else is doing in that book and know that you can come back to that book and pull it back out and look at the great strategy and implement after you build the what? Yes. Awesome. Okay, nobody's going to say I'm a bad teacher. Okay, so hot traffic. So you want to think traffic, traffic, traffic. So what's happening right now is people are going pretty much off TV. I mean, does anybody still watch cable? Just be honest. Look, you guys are embarrassed to say that. You're like, okay, but most of us don't. Did you notice in the room there wasn't a bunch of hands up? I watch Netflix or Hulu, but honestly, how often are we watching people on social media? I mean, we now talk about having to get a electronic detox, right? We all know there's a reason why we feel our nervous system is amped all the time. There's a reason why we're having problems in relationships. I'm not going to get into that part, but what you have to get is we are connected in social platforms. We just are. There's problems happening in other areas of our life because of it, but that is not what's relevant here. What's relevant in this seminar is you never having money be a reason why you don't take action in your life again. I want everybody flying first class. And even if you say you don't, you're lying. Because when you fly to Australia in economy, it sucks. Okay? So you want to think traffic. And so if you create traffic, no matter what your industry does, you're going to have a distribution channel. So there's nothing that says that what you're doing today, you're going to be doing in 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, right? Especially if you're sitting here and you don't know what you want to offer, the chances are you're going to evolve massively. Christine went from a weight coach to like an essence person to now she's probably one of the best at lead gen for quality men for women. But she's been that way since we were kids. She just had to grow into her business and accept the role of her mission, right? So with that being said, if you've got a distribution channel, you'll be set up in a good position. So you should Google middle class being wiped out. You should Google it. You'll find tons of data. I was going to pull up a bunch of data for you guys. Maybe I will tomorrow if I've got time, but just to make sure that you see it and you get it. It's kind of like if you knew the real estate crash was going to come, you probably would have done some things differently. At least I would have. I lived 7 years of bad credit because I let all my homes go into foreclosure, right? So distribution. So stylists, guess what? We're going to be printing clothes, right? There's already restaurants right now. I just heard there's one in San Diego too, but I know there's one in San Francisco where there's no servers. Okay, so you just have to wake up. There's no servers. There's already self-driving cars and there's already shipments being done. And so you just accountants. Sorry, Sonia. It's closing down. You know why it's closing down? Because the computers can do it quicker and more effectively. And at this point, they don't steal from you. So there's a list. Teachers, right now they're restructuring K through 12. They're doing that right now so that our children are taught by robots. Whether you like it or you don't, it's happening. So there's no use in us sitting here complaining about it, saying, oh, that means this is going to happen, that. Okay, do you want to be the complaining group losing? Or do you want to be over here with the group that's doing something? You get to make that decision. That's totally up to you. I just choose not to hang out in the conversation of fear and, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm compelled to get out there and show people how to build their email list, show you how to sell to them. There's lots of other cool stuff I love to do in business. That's not where my education ends. I mean, scaling, webinars, funnels, events. I mean, I can keep going. I could fill this event with a ton of content, and you could walk out spinning and focusing on something that you somehow are attracted to, that you somehow saw somebody else do online, and you're equating that to the freedom door, but that won't be the freedom door. This is the freedom door. This is the freedom door. I don't care if somebody tells you people aren't opening up emails anymore. I will be off email at the end of this year. Does that not mean that I'm going to stop doing emails? No. All I'm doing is getting your phone numbers on top of it when I get your emails. And then I'm finding ways to get your addresses. And then I'm going to be in your inbox. I'm going to be in your mailbox. And I'm going to be on your cell phone. Has anybody gotten a text message from me yet? Right? I'm going to be in your text message. I'm going to be everywhere I can to help wake you up. I get all of that through the email list. I can send an email to my database and I could say, I'm going to give away $500 today. All you have to do is fill out this form and answer this question. One of the questions could be your phone number. I now have your phone number. That costs me nothing, by the way, to send that email. If I play that game somewhere else, like Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, there's going to be a cost to it. And I'm definitely not going to go learn how to figure out how to run the ads. How many people are trying to learn how to run Facebook ads right now? Raise your hand, just be honest. Do you want a Facebook agency? Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? I don't know why you're going to put yourself through that. Unless you want a Facebook agency, and you really want, and even if I want a Facebook agency, I probably don't want to be the person running the ad anyway. Right? But it would make sense to me if you came to me and said, I want a Facebook agency. Then I would say, okay, if you're trying to do it to make money, it's probably not in your unique ability, and you're going to spend how many years figuring it out? And by the way, it changes all the time, so you better love it, because it changes all the time. Things that were working a few months ago are not working now. But I don't worry because I have what? Okay, so teachers, drivers, delivery drivers, stylists, servers. I mean, the list goes on of who will not, and you're seeing it now. Some people don't realize what's happening. It's just going robotic. So, distribution channels, people will call you. You don't have to have big, huge channels for people to want to call you. However, believe it or not, those big, huge channels are not as hard as they look to build. I have somebody who builds my Instagram page, and we were at 2,400, 2,300 people. I'm being totally transparent with you. About, I don't know, maybe 2.5 months ago, maybe 3, I think 2.5 months ago, and we're at 11,000 now. I pay her $600 a month. Her fee's actually $400, but I cannot do that. I have to pay her $6 because I just feel that's wrong, So, and I'm talking to her about closing down her other account so that she can come work for me full time, so that I can then give her a nice salary and a benefits package and a 401k. And I have a whole nother story about 401ks. I give it to them because they want it. But honestly, you're deferring taxes until a higher tax bracket. Come on. Like you gotta break out of these thought processes. I mean, and I'm not a financial advisor, and some of you guys probably are in here, and I have this conversation with my advisor all the time. But it's like, I don't want to make less money when I retire. That's not the game I'm not trying to funnel myself into that game. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm actually trying to put myself in a position where I have a ton of money and continuously have it be growing so that I can continuously find ways to pay it forward. I have a vision in my own community to drive leads for them, only the ones that are hungry to win. I'm not going to drive because they haven't learned yet until they're hungry to win. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, so I want you to think about hot traffic is speaking. If you're speaking on a stage, it's hot traffic. This is if I was to make an offer right now, I would make a good amount of money. Just because you're in the room and there's already people. How many people, you could be honest, how many people would love to work with me right now? Just raise your hand. Okay, so imagine, that's a lot if I made an offer, right? Thank you. So speaking is hot traffic. It's a great way to be able to make a big difference in the world and to make a lot of money. How many people are afraid to get up on a stage? Raise your hand. Just be honest. Like, this is not the time to hide. Be honest about it. Yeah, so I was totally afraid. I mean, when somebody said my name, this is how poor my personal development was. When somebody used to say my name, Shanda, I was embarrassed about my name because it was so different. Like now, if somebody would have told me to get up on a stage, there's no way I could have done that because this was a huge stretch for me. But now it's in my comfort zone, right? But it's a great way to build business. It's a great way to make an impact, and it's an incredible way to make money. You can be bad and still make money speaking. It's true. Convert your emails to cash. Sometimes I don't like to use the word money cash because some people have what's the word I'm looking for? Adversity towards it. We want the cash, right? We want the money, we want the cash. Let's be straight up about it. Let's have a good relationship with money. Money is like your friends. If you don't spend time with it, honor it, love it, want to hang out with it, talk good about it, it's not going to come hang out with you. It really is a relationship. If you hoard it, you're afraid to give it. There's a guy on the corner that needs money, and you're like, oh my God, it's my last $20 and I want to go to Chipotle. Like, if you got that, you got to get out of that, and you got to be give to give. That's why I've got that on those shirts, give to give, to remind you. Just take the money out, go to the ATM, stop being lazy, pull out some more money, and go to Chipotle, right? So convert your emails to cash. Just send out emails, walk with people, serve them, speak, and your email list is the hottest traffic that I know. The second thing is warm traffic. Again, warm traffic is also your email list. There are a lot of people who have been watching me for years on my email list that still haven't purchased from me. Right? I haven't said the right thing, or they still think that they're not ready for me. I have a story in my head, and the story is that people only come to me when they're ready to break free. They'll have excuses up until that point, and then they're ready to break free. So warm traffic is, again, your email list as well. Funnels, referrals, other people's lists. That would be affiliate marketing. If you don't know what a funnel is, don't worry about it. Really, don't worry about it. We'll get to it. And then cold traffic is the hardest one to convert. It's the hardest one to convert. I've been playing on Facebook traffic for a while, but really it was about a year ago that I decided that I wanted cold traffic, which means that I'm not going after my list. Like I'm definitely still targeting my email list with my Facebook ads. But how do I reach other countries, other audiences, people who are not on my email list? It is definitely a much higher cost. To give you an idea, when we teach somebody how to do an email list build, which usually takes, first of all, we can do it in 2.5 weeks. So that shows you how quick it can be. But we tell our clients the first time that they do it to give themselves 90 days. I'm going to go over all of that type of stuff on one module and just go through the steps so you can see it. But my point in sharing that with you is that might cost me $1,000, $1,200. I'm talking about if I hire a virtual assistant and all of that type of stuff to help me just do it. But my cold traffic could cost me anywhere from $5 a lead to $12 a lead. I mean, there's been some cases it's $15 a lead. So if you look at our average client on the first time, we'll build an email list anywhere between 1,700, 2,000 to 2,400 people in their first list build. That's great. I mean, that's great. So I don't know what 2,000, what's 2,000 times $5 a lead, which is good. 10,000. I should know that. See, you got to be vulnerable. So that would cost me $10,000 for the same list. Now, do I recommend that you never do Facebook ads? No, I totally recommend you do it. I just recommend you do the email list first, retarget the email list, and then get your cash flow going, and then invest in a good team that actually can get you proper customer acquisition. Okay? So remember the little exercise we did around who do you want to work with? Who do you like spending your time with? Do you want to find those people, or do you want the energy suckers? So get a good team. There's a very big difference, okay? So cold traffic is your Facebook or other social media traffic funnels again. So all I want you to see on that is notice that the two top ones, hot traffic and warm traffic, both have your email list connected to it. In other words, there's people watching that want to buy now, and there's people that will not, if you get a 20% open rate, which means 20% of the people in your email list open up your emails, that leaves a lot of people who are not interested yet. And they may be interested in you offering somebody else's product, so you can still make money off of that. Do you see how there's so many ways to make money once you have it? There's so many ways to make money. Okay, what most people do is they struggle for years, or they literally take somebody else's model and replicate it. I cannot tell you how many people have thought that they should price things based on what I price things. Marketing mastery, how many times have I said to you guys, increase your prices? I have my pricing priced at a level that really goes to the masses. I'm not ridiculously expensive, but it's not because you should price based off my model. I have a very specific vision on what I'm doing. When our clients go into our PACE Club, 62% of them stay with us into Marketing Mastery. I already know my numbers, and that to me is awesome. So that 62% are the people who are really ready to create something magical in their life. So for me, I like the low barrier to entry for people coming in. I like it's a stretch for people, because if it's not a stretch, it's the same reason why I don't know how that just happened. It's the same reason why I'm having a really hard time even setting up a trust fund for my son, because I don't want to entitle him or take the rug out from underneath him to actually learn how to hustle and work. Because eventually I'm going to pass away, and I don't want to leave him like my grandmother left my dad. See how everything comes from our experiences? My dad was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was a very, very good businessman. Very good. His mother passed away, and my dad lost all of his confidence, and he never went back into work again. Do you think he had any idea that would happen to him? Or he'd feel that way? He just got super depressed. My dad never, ever got depressed. And he's never been able to recover from that. I take care of my father now. See what I'm saying? So I think it's really important for you guys to pay attention to how you do this. And so the pricing and the way you price yourself needs to be on your vision, not on what other people are doing. And people rip off other people's models all the time. I have love coaches that have no idea that they charge more, well, they do now, but they have no idea that they charge more than the gurus charge. And if they find out, they come to me and say, how can I charge that amount? So-and-so, who everybody knows and has been on Oprah, only charges X amount. Don't worry about it. Stop focusing on that. Here, go over here. And I enroll them. I enroll them in their vision. And what happens is they start charging that, and now they have a new 4-minute mile. Get it? Okay. So what most people do is they waste time building websites, and they focus on packaging and branding. Now, I'm not saying packaging and branding is not important. I'm just saying build the what? Yes, because your packaging is going to change. My packaging changes all the time. Like, we added an extra mastermind into PACE Club around a personal development one around when people move into sales, only because I found there was a problem getting people out of their own way to make offers, right? That's a change in my packaging. My personal, like we have a 1% club opening up, there are things in that 1% club that have more access and less access to me than another group that I shut down to open up that group. My packaging's changed. My life's changed. What I'm willing to do. I may or may not be coaching next year. Think about that. I haven't done sales in 4 years. My packaging and pricing always changes. What I also want you to hear is urgency. Far too many times people say, I'll join that program later, or I'll invest in that later, or you get what I'm saying? And later doesn't come because that person doesn't take people anymore. I left a Facebook team and went to a new Facebook team. That Facebook team the person that did my stuff is no longer taking people. the door closes. So I'm trying right now. What I'm doing is reweaving the way that you think, so you're thinking like a millionaire. I'm having you guys look at things a little bit differently as I'm teaching. Are you picking it up? Awesome. Okay, so you definitely need Facebook numbers, but here's what Nick, which was my old Facebook team, said, and I think it's super smart, and that's why I'm sharing it. He said, list traffic is easy to convert. It's cold traffic that gets tricky. And he's 100% honest about that. And I appreciate him sharing that because of the fact that so many people are out there that have really crappy agencies, and I'm just going to be bold about it, because they're not charging enough, and you hurt people when you don't charge enough, because you agency people can't build a team underneath you to do good work. And so you've got to get out of your own way and charge what you need to charge so that you can pay for the right people to be in your agency, to service people, to get the results that you're actually promising. You hearing me? It's time to commit. It's time to commit. There's no more time left to play around. It's time to commit. Okay, so I want you to focus on start with the audience first, no matter what. You cannot create a product or a program before you know how they want to be served. In other words, you have to ask an audience. This is why people like Christine or I don't know, there's a bunch of you guys. It's why my clients can evolve with their email list and change their packaging, their pricing, even what they're doing, from weight loss to love relationships. You know, I mean, that's a big shift. But in the process, they can make money in the process because all they have to do is ask their email list, what are their emotional buying triggers? In other words, what do they want? So there was a whole year I had to teach blogging because my audience wanted to learn about blogging. So I had to teach blogging. And so it was a gateway drug to open them up to learning how to build an email list. But that's what they wanted. So if I was going out, somebody must have done a product launch somewhere that told everybody they needed a blog, you know? And so it was like all of a sudden my industry, everybody who wanted to be an entrepreneur was saying, oh, I need to really blog. That's the thing, and how to get traffic. And so I had to create a free product that had people come in, and I taught them how to blog for 30 days. And really, all I did was segue them into teaching them about the importance of what they really needed to learn, which is email list building. I would never have known that if I wouldn't have surveyed my database. And honestly, I don't want to survey the World Wide Web out there. I want to survey the group that I have because it costs me nothing. And then I could build everything out from there. Are you guys hearing me? Is anybody confused? Okay, good. So Isabel spoke here last year. Does anybody know her? She's awesome. So she has a $25 million company. It's called Beyond Diet. And when she was figuring out cold traffic, what's cold traffic? Internet traffic, right? It could be AdWords, it could be Facebook, you know, it's just internet, people who don't know you out there and they're seeing an ad. So she spent $100,000 a month to figure out mastering the cold traffic game. And by the way, she's got the subscription-based model, which everybody wants, this turnkey, and it just goes without them. And she would stand up here with me right now and say, that is not the case. She works extraordinarily hard. And when she loses 1,600 subscribers, she has to make that 1,600 up in the month plus to grow. So it's a big game, and they spend a ton of money. Okay, so what my clients do first is they focus on 2 steps. And those 2 steps are first building their email list and converting hot traffic to 3,000 to 250,000 in cash a month. So yes, I have clients who have sold $250,000 a month in clients or cash. So that's pretty awesome. So the reason why I put hot traffic is that's just the group of people who are opening up the emails. They're what I call hot traffic. They have a bunch of warm traffic. They just do. They open some of their emails. They don't open others. It just depends on their subject line. The second thing is they learn my I solve model, and that is my sales conversation. I'm going to teach you tomorrow. We're going to play an audience participation game tomorrow. And I'm going to break you through your own conversations on why you don't buy things. And I'm going to show you how there's really only 3 things that prevent you. There's 3 excuses you use over and over and over again. And wouldn't it be valuable if I can demonstrate me breaking that in you? Yeah. Okay, good. I get fueled on you guys. 3 days is a long time to stand up here. I need some energy. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so let's hear for a couple of my clients really quickly. There's Bex, Phaedra. Who else did I ask to come up? Kristen. Come up for 2 seconds. Awesome, let me just, hi, honey. Hi. You look hot. Thank you. You're welcome. Carla, my stylist. You two look hot too. Bex, I'm gonna give this to you first.
Great.
Awesome. I get you to stand right here. Hi, honey. Awesome. Okay, so the reason why I asked them to come up, and I'll randomly ask clients to come up, I literally was Facebook inboxing them. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna pull you up on this, like that. That's the transparency behind the curtain. I'm gonna pull you guys up on the next section. And so they don't know what they're gonna say. I have not prepped them. They're not grounded to say something to do something to you. I just think it's really important for you to actually hear how they're implementing this model and what are some of the results that you're getting. So Bex, could you just start real quick?
Sure. When I began with Shanda, I had no business. I had left a business and had a dream. And so I created a business. I built an email list of 6,000. I doubled the income that I was making in the business prior to working with Shanda. I've gotten out of my own emotional way in a lot of ways and gotten really deeper and more intimate in all of my relationships, including my marriage.
It's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And I'm on stage at the Zone, not crying.
Yeah, so she used to cry all the time. So crying is a piece, and it could happen, I mean, it happens, but when we cry, what happens is we pull the energy to us versus paying it forward to people out there, right? So I know it sounds awful, but it's kind of a selfish act because it's all about me, and it pulls the energy. So as you're influencing, one of the things that we've been really, and don't get me wrong, she feels her emotions, she does her work, but she's learned how to stand as an authority in front of a group of people, process her emotions on the spot, and be able to be about you, not her. Does that make sense? Yeah. Awesome. Go ahead.
Thank you.
So I joined Pace Club. I'm Phaedra, and I joined Pace Club in January, okay? So we're in September, the end of that. It changed my life. I was in a major depression. I didn't know where I was going. I was working way too hard, and I signed up, and what I got was a huge community of wonderful people around the world that I can call and say, hey, can I stay with you? And I wanted to travel and I wanted to make money. I did a summit based on a life experience. I'm a trauma survivor. I had a rollover. So my summit was pain treatments that work. How to heal pain when you've tried everything else. And my first list build was incredible. 5,500 people. Yes. And I made $5,500 in sales off of that.
That's cool.
I just did a quick 4 weeks to do another summit. Again, pain treatments that work 2.0, and I got 6,000 people. So my list is over 11,000. I just started in January. And yes, and I've grossed over $24,000.
That's cool.
I've learned the tech stuff. I have an amazing virtual assistant, and I have created such a community here that if I'm in Vancouver and I need a place to stay, I could call someone in Pace, and she'll help me get a place. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
this changed my life, and I'm one of those money people, like, I don't have the money, but it has paid for itself over
Well, just
and
so
over.
you know, they don't know. So Pace Club, because there's a bunch of you guys who don't know me, Pace Club is a program that we do called Profit Acceleration Club for Entrepreneurs. So when you hear, we have Marketing Mastery, we have Pace, so when you hear some of my clients speak, they're talking about the programs that they're in so that you understand that and have a context to that. So that's pretty awesome. I didn't realize that. That's
And
cool.
I want to thank you personally because it's just, I listened to your webinar, and it was an absolute yes. Yes, I want this, and I took the risk, and I did it.
Yeah.
And my life has changed, so the next step for me is closing my brick and mortar and just traveling and working from a laptop and helping people, because I have people emailing me every day now, all over. I just worked online with Skype. It's like you're in person, but not with someone in the UK and someone in Martha's Vineyard, and I've done it. And I just had a sale, so I sold 2 months of coaching for $797 a month, and she paid in full for 2 months. And this is something I'm still working on my own stuff with to grow, but I have the list.
That's right. Yeah,
So
you have.
thank you,
You're
because it
welcome.
works.
Yes.
You're amazing.
You did it.
With your help and all of the coaches, and you're just so generous, and that's what about this program. We have so much support 24/7.
That's
If
cool.
you have a question about your
Yeah.
business, it's answered.
Yeah, we have a model inside our company about generosity, and we actually make it mandatory by the time you get to marketing mastery. Cool. Awesome, Kristen. And by the way, this isn't about Pace Club or marketing mastery, just you're about the model.
Yeah. My name is Kristen. Hey! Oh, I love you guys. I had my business for, I think, 7 years.
Can I have you guys move up? These people, poor people.
I had my business for about 7 years before I found Shanda. I worked with many, many business coaches, a little bit here, a little bit there. One of the things, and you said earlier, is like find a coach, whoever it is, right, and stick with them. And that really made sense to me because I was piecing things together and trying to make it work. So after about 6 or 7 years of doing this, my email list, I never focused on it, and it was probably about 600. In our first year together, I grew it from 600 to 6,000.
Very
Which
cool.
was really incredible. And then in the last 12 months, I've doubled my income, which is amazing. And the thing with building your list is you just get to make a bigger impact with people. When I look at, 600 is amazing. Like, that's 600 people. Yeah. But 6,000, and then you get to continue to grow and share your message, because we're all doing things that we're passionate about and we believe in that actually make a difference in the world. And so
Did you guys, so just a quick question, has your guys' messaging, you're just kind of getting started on it, right? So is that right, or have you been in the pain space for a while?
I've been in, but I've transformed even beyond that.
Okay, interesting. So your guys' like your products and your messaging is evolving.
Totally.
Right? So, what I'm trying to share with you is that you don't ever figure it out. Like that's like saying I'm gonna do a personal development course and I'm gonna be fixed. It's like that never happens. You just keep getting stronger, right? You keep evolving. So as they're evolving, their email lists keep evolving with them. And then things like you saw me on a webinar, well, how do you think I fill my webinar? I mean, I could send 3 emails out to my database or 4, and I can have 1,000 people on my webinar, right? And it costs me nothing. Now, I could do the same thing on social media, and it's gonna definitely cost me something. And I do both. But I don't do the other one until I've already got the cash flow rolling, so that I can totally mess up on the cold traffic piece, because I've already got the cash flow going. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any last words you want to share with everybody?
Thank you.
Me, but thank you.
Last words. Find something that you're passionate about, and then, find people, build your list, right? Get an audience to speak to, and that'll help refine the message. Like, talk about the survey at the end. And that's huge, just to get like, where is everyone at? Because we think we have an idea of what we want to share with them, but then we actually get to ask them and find out what they want. And
big awareness. There's a difference between the inspired moment you have on how you're going to transform the world and actually asking them, how do you want to be transformed?
Yeah.
When's easier to sell?
Yeah, so your message gets refined, but when you have an audience, you can actually like do that work.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they'll tell you for sure. And it's just, you're making a difference. Emails every day I'm getting and saying thank you. And it's just me in Phoenix, Arizona, making a difference. So
Yeah, That's cool.
pretty awesome.
And if you wanted to do a Facebook Live, you can send an email to your database, and all of a sudden you can have a couple hundred people on your Facebook Live. So now you're not like talking to nobody who shows up, right? So you see how it can front load everything really easily.
Yeah, and my addition is patience and persistence. That whatever message is going out to your list, impact is. Sometimes we don't see the impact that we're putting out there, and then all of a sudden, years later, we might hear that one thing that you said in an email changed my life, and it may not come from a client, but I think the more patient that we get with ourselves and with the process, and the more authentic we show up as ourselves, the people that we're meant to work with will come to us, and it's really powerful. Thank you so much.
It puts referrals on steroids. It puts referrals on steroids because you can message all the time.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Thank you.
ladies. I appreciate you sharing. You're so welcome. Thank you. We just popped that right on there. Cool. Okay, so we're literally going to take a break in just a second. But I just want you to stop for a second and grab your notebook. And what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be in a zoned out state while we're talking. If you're tired and you didn't get enough sleep last night, I want you to commit to getting a lot of sleep tonight, because you came to the Zone event to transform. You came to make a lot of money. You came to become a millionaire, and then again, and then a multi, and then keep going. You came for that. So I'm trying to show you it's really a way of being. It's a way of being. These strategies are quite easy. I'm going to show you exactly what I teach my clients, and the strategies are quite easy. The problem is, are you still engaged? Are you still engaged? Right? I'm telling you, I promise you, it has so much to do with that. If you're still connected and you're still engaged while we're talking, if you're not zoning out, if you are zoning out because you're tired, do something about it. Like, get up. Get up, stand up, walk over there, walk to the back, stand in the middle, do whatever you have to do to make sure that you get it, right? Don't check out. Don't check out. So now I want to ask you, how's your emotional state? Awesome. Okay, great. So if I was to ask you, what is your number one takeaway from today, what would it be? Write that down. I did a really good job. I wasn't expecting that, but I did a really good job on that one. Okay, so around building the email list, if you did it, what's that going to give you? Write that down. Tie that anchor to the bottom of that. And then ask yourself, if you don't do it, what's that going to cost you? If you don't build the email list, what's that going to cost you? How many years have you been trying to do this? How many years have you said no because you can't afford it? How many years have you settled for an okay house when you really want something better? How many times did you say, my child's education was more important than me having that, whatever, fill in the blanks? How many times did you strengthen scarcity in this world because you gave up things because of money? And so anchor, hi Mary Ellen, anchor the email list to a huge why. And if your email list is dead, meaning you haven't talked to it for a while, do your work around that. What could you do today, tonight, to change that? What vulnerable story could you pay forward that you could release somebody else for making that mistake? and you'll engage the list back. Okay, so we're going to take a 30-minute break. I don't know what time that is.
We have just a couple things to say about that.
Okay. That would be Lynn Rose. Hi. I love you. We've been friends forever. We have been friends for a very long time, so it's so cool to have you here. I'll let you take it away then.
All right.
Thank you.
One more time for Shanda. We'll share more about what we've seen and just, she lives, she walks her talk. So, all right, so how many of you put in your hot seat coaching application? If not, make sure you take advantage of that opportunity. Tonight, yes? Okay.
Back up. I'm hooked up. So I'm actually, do you guys have your hot seat? Yes. Can I just see that for a second? As I'm unhooking myself. Okay, so your hot seat application, do you guys have this? Okay, so I have hot seats tonight, I have some tomorrow, and I have some the next day. So there's 3 opportunities to be hot seated. Some are all by me, some are by me and friends, but my point is that it's happening. And if you don't want to be hot seated, I'm like trying to click this in, let me just hold it. So if you don't want to be hot seated and you don't want to be pulled on stage at all, then just write on the top, please don't pick me. Like seriously, just write, it's totally fine. Just write, my nose is like running off my face. Please write, don't pick me, but still fill it out so that I have data on you, because I might take that topic, especially if it says don't pick me, and speak into it so you get served. Okay, so, but I'm going to ask you to fill that out now. I'm going to ask you to actually pass them all to the right. Pass them all to the right, if you guys can do that. That would be great. Thank you,
Awesome.
Lynn. I appreciate it.
Thank you for clarifying that. Also, wouldn't you agree that being able to see the hot seat coaching in action, even if you're not the one in the hot seat, is incredibly valuable and helpful? Yes? So absolutely be here this evening for that hot seat coaching. That's where some of the juice gets put into, implemented, where you get to see it integrated. Also, there's another reason to be here tonight after dinner, right when it starts. There is a band called The Kin, now called Braves, and they open for Pink and Coldplay around the world, and they're going to be here, and we are launching tonight, first time ever in public, a new song that actually they with me we've written and are going to perform. And they're also going to perform one of their songs as well, and then Shanda's going to speak with them a little bit with you guys. So who's going to be here after dinner right away at the beginning? Woo! Yeah! It's gonna be, oh, and by the way, they're very handsome and charming, and very handsome and charming and talented and conscious and amazing. So just saying. Also, so let you know, if you need that energy, who's needing some energy? Okay. High burst right out there. Take advantage of that. Get your energy, get hydrated, connect with each other. It's a 30-minute break. Be back in the room in 30 minutes from now. And also we got the sponsor booths open and the retail shops open. Have an amazing break. And we do ask you that you leave the room, actually actively leave the room, and then come back in 30 minutes. See you then. Woohoo! Hit it!